All right, guys, we're gonna get started. So, Drew and Heather um, made a bunch of videos, um, and Christy she made a bunch of videos too of us beating our bodies up, working out, and stuff like that. So we have plenty of material, more than enough, of exercises. Okay, and you can come up with different variations of what one video has to the other video, unless you have a certain plan for, like, let's say, your periodization or goal or what have you, for what you want to do with your body. Okay, or injuries. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another recovery video because it's really important, with all the high intense stuff that we do, to take care of our body and make sure that it's can function at a rate to where there's no injury or less likely to get injury. So it's really good to do. Makes you feel good, makes you feel on point, uh, and also some of it can also stimulate your central nervous system to have a better. It's called neural pathway to the muscles, so your performance is going to be better. So you ever have those days where, like, man, I feel like I'm on, I feel like I'm on fire, and everything feels like it's easy when I move, I'm coordinated. That's what I'm talking about with the central nervous system and getting a better neural pathway to those muscles. Okay, but uh, we're gonna do a lot of, like, movements to help, like I said, strengthen our body and less likely for injuries. Okay, so more like rehab type stuff. With this kind of stuff that we're gonna do, you can do basically every day or every other day. Just listen to your body. If it's kind of like sore in some ways, don't do it. All right, but this shouldn't be that strenuous at all. All right. So the first one that we're gonna do, the first exercise, is gonna be a pelvic tilt. All right. Now with pelvic tilt, with this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna picture your hips. The hips can rotate posteriorly or anteriorly. Okay, and a lot of times we have anterior shift. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do posterior shift when you're gonna rotate your pelvis, uh, kind of like up towards the sky, and the back is gonna push straight to the ground. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna push your lower, think of it like your lower back into the ground. Okay, and you can actually use your feet to kind of drive off the ground just a little bit. Um, we're not doing a bridge. This is a full out bridge. We're not doing that just yet. Okay, but I just want you to work on just rotating the pelvis, pushing your feet into the floor a little bit, and you're gonna notice that you're gonna feel it in your lower back, and it feels good. It feels like a stretch. So this is one of the warm ups that you can do, especially when you have having back problems, because some of the lifts that we do uh, puts a lot of wear and tear on the back sometimes, um, or just hurts your back. So this is going to help give you that flexibility a little bit when it feels tight, being able to move around. And also help strengthen a little bit in that. It's called your lumbopelvic hip complex. Try to say that real fast. All right, we'll try two more. And one more. Good. So everything that we're going to do today is going to be 15 repetitions. Okay. I would say no more than 1 to 2 sets. Okay, 2 sets if you really feel like you need it. But today we're just going to do everything pretty much like 1 set. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a bridge. Okay. So we're going to do that posterior tilt to a bridge. All right. So you want to reset this every time. So we're going to do posterior tilt first, right? And then we're going to go bridge up. Remember, you're pushing your feet into the ground, squeezing your glutes, knees come out just a little bit, and you're going to add up, okay? And then you're going to come back down. Do the same thing, posterior shift, come up, squeeze your glutes, back down. Here, up. There you go. take your time when you do this. It's gonna be like a 2 count. You're gonna hold it 1, 2, and then back down. Reshift up 1, 2. Okay, cool. That was 15. Okay, so our next movement that we're gonna do, um, we're gonna do bird dog. Okay, so bird dog is basically when you're gonna have the knee to elbow from right here, and then you're gonna reach out just like that. Knee to elbow, and you reach out. All right, and we're gonna do the other side. Here. Yeah. All right, good deal. So another one, since we're in a lot of it's going to be called your thoracic spine, your upper spine. We're in thoracic flexion. A lot of times when you're here and you go to throw and you go to punch and everything, um, this upper part of your back tends to round. Okay. Also, when you go to do your boxing, how you have to have that shoulder close to that chin. Um, the flex shots, being able to roll, being less of a target. All right. And it's just better. It's just better to move when you have more of a narrow uh, upper body. You know what I mean? When you go to hit. Okay. But a lot of times you got to figure how the body works is that through time of constantly doing that, things will get shortened. Okay, and it can cause dysfunction, especially within your scapula. Okay, so you got to figure if your shoulders roll forward like this, it's called your scapulothoracic rhythm, doesn't function well. All right. So when the scapula doesn't function well, the socket can't function well. Whenever you go to throw any type of punch, whenever your glenohumeral joint or your humerus head is going to impact into that socket. Okay, so you're going to have pain, pinching, sometimes even stabbing pain, shooting pain. So not good. All right. So we want to be able to take care of our shoulders a lot because in boxing, that's the joint that we're using a lot. You know what I mean? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be in all fours, okay, and we're gonna try to get that flexibility back within our thoracic spine. Okay, so we're gonna put our hand behind our head like this, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down right with your elbow close to your arm right here, and then you're gonna reach up just like that. And I want you to think rotation of the spine. Okay, try to keep your spine straight. Try not to wrench it too much. This is supposed to be like a gradual movement. Like you're supposed to feel it like get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little better, but you don't want to strain. Okay, it's just to get the movement back in your body. This way, it'll eventually correct itself. Okay, and I always tell everybody this too. if you have a dysfunction, right? And let's say your dysfunction is a piece of steel, and you take the piece of steel and you bend it, right? And that's your problem, right? The bent steel. If you try to correct it right away, you try to bend it back real fast, right? And try to be like, oh, I want to correct it right now, you know what I mean? Most likely that steel can break. Okay, it'll break right off, right? That'll be your body. So you'll injure yourself by trying to overcorrect it. Okay, so we're gonna have to gradually go through time to get it back to where it was. Okay, so this is basically the same concept. Okay, so we're gonna go down right here, and come up, thoracic rotation, slow and controlled. Okay. Perfect. Okay, same thing right here, straight spine, down right here. For me, this side's really tight, really, really tight. I can feel it loosen up a little bit. One more. All right. So as soon as you get done doing your 15, we're going to do a lat stretch. Okay, lats are another one that tend to get short on this side, or both sides. So we're constantly down like this, down right here. You can see the lats going to shorten. Even just having your arm down in the down position shortens the lats. This you can even see elongates the lats. Okay, so it's a muscle that is most likely going to be short and tight. Right. So what we're going to do is you're going to be in child's pose. I don't know if anybody ever's taken yoga. All right, but your palms are going to face toward each other. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to lean down just like this, and you're going to give a nice, good old stretch. All right. Now, a sign that shows that you have shoulder impingement. All right, where you have that. Remember, I was talking about that head pushing against the roof or the ceiling of your glenohumeral joint in your shoulder. All right. This is one of the tests to see if you have that. Okay. So if you put your arm in an overhead position and you feel pain or pinching when you do that, you're pretty much positive for shoulder impingement. Okay. So that means that your scapula is off. Okay. It has a anterior shift. Okay, so right here, we're just going to stretch down like that. So if you feel that pain, obviously don't do it to where it hurts, in your shoulder. You're going to have to do other corrective exercises, and there's other ways that you can release your lat or stretch it. So we're just going to hold this for about 20 seconds. All right, so on this one, palm's going to be up like this. You're going to reach across your body, okay? So if I'm right here, see how my elbow's almost in line with my knee, okay? So I'm going to have that position, all right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand, right? I'm going to anchor it down, pin my hand to the floor, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back like this. I'm gonna rest my head on my bicep, okay? And what it's gonna do is it's gonna pull this, okay? So you wanna do this nice and gently, just like that. And you can lean into it a little bit this way. Good deal on that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Palm's gonna be up. I'm gonna reach across this hand. Gonna go around top of the other hand. Turning my body. Rest my head on my bicep. And I'm just gonna sit back a little. All right. So on here, grab something real quick. All right. So on this, if you do have a ball, or softball would probably be the best. But if you have a ball, tennis ball, I have a baseball. Baseball is gonna be a little rough. Um, we're gonna try to release our pecs. Okay, so very common muscle to be tight. Your pectoralis minor too. What that does is that when this shortens and it gets in a tightened position, you can even see the pull on my body, on my shirt. Okay? Pretty much what happens when we're constantly in this position, punching, 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 punching. Okay, flexing, flexing, flexing. You get the idea, right? It gets short. Okay, internally rotates the shoulder. Um, anteriorly shifts the scapula forward. All right, so this is another muscle that's going to cause problems. Okay, so those muscles that I was talking about for release and everything, they feed off each other. All right, so when you have one problem, multiple problems can occur. Okay, or multiple problems within your muscles. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to release this guy right here. All right, so if you look at my chest, all right, chest right here. See this line, this kind of like a separation right here. So I have my anterior deltoid just over that corner right here to my pec right here in that corner. You press on it like this, it should feel pretty sensitive. Okay, so you dig your hand right there. You can do this release. You can do a finger release. So if I have my fingers right there, take my other hand right here, and I just squeeze with this arm. Okay, I can push to this side a little bit. So I can dig into the fibers just like this. All right. So that's a hand release that you can do. All right. So you can do that. Hold for about 20, 30 seconds. Dig your fingers in, massage, circular, back and forth across the fibers. Okay, up and down. All right. And you can do the same thing on the other side here. And you gotta reinforce pressure. Just do that. Try not to roll your shoulder forward. Try to keep this side relaxed a little bit if you can. Just dig in. All right. So what you're gonna do with the ball is you're probably gonna have to try to find like a book, especially if you're developed. You know what I mean? With females, you're probably gonna need a book, okay? Because the ball is not gonna be enough to hit that area. You know what I'm saying? So softball ideal, but if you have a tennis ball or a regular ball, that's fine. All right. So how you're gonna do this is this palm is actually this arm is gonna face up to the sky, so you have your arm straight. Okay. So once when I'm in that position right here, I'm gonna have this ball just like this, and I'm gonna have the book. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. I'm gonna have this book right there holding up that ball, and I'm gonna lean into this ball. I'm just gonna secure it with this hand, okay, so it doesn't slide all over the place. All right. You can do this. I know it's a little camera's a little jacked up. All right. So if I'm doing my right side, let's say I'm doing my right side, this leg, this knee needs to come up like that. Okay. Reason for that is I can lean. See how I'm leaning into it? I get a little bit more leverage into it, and it's easier for me to rock back and forth. Okay, so if I'm going to do this, I'll apply pressure right here, have that knee up. I'm going to lean into my ball. I'm going to release it. 20 seconds. Right there. All right. So once when we do that, you can find at least like two or three spots that are, tight, that you feel knots in, that you can give this ball. You can slide a little bit over too to the top of the chest. That'll be fine too. Another spot that gets really tight too, because you're constantly doing this a lot, is your anterior deltoid. Okay, so instead of doing the chest, you can actually get the front of the shoulder, and you lean down the front of the shoulder. You can do that for about 20 seconds right here too. That's all you do is just lay. And then, you can, after that 20 seconds, when you do that release, you can wiggle back and forth like that. Get the wrench all the knots out. But always think static release, right? Fast release to, the dynamic or rolling of the release. Static first, dynamic next. Okay, so we're gonna try the other side now. Same thing, gonna take this hand, put it behind just like this. Oh, this side's tight. Gonna lean on this side. We're gonna wiggle. Like I said, you can do this. You can do this multiple times throughout the day. If your body needs it, do it. Especially prepping, like warm ups, prepping your body for activity. This is a good way to help release and stimulate, your performance and movement. It's called reciprocal inhibition. So reciprocal inhibition, meaning that both muscles from opposing sides function with each other. So it's able to go boom, 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 back and forth. Okay. So, for example, when I go throw like a punch, flexion, extension, that's basically reciprocal inhibition. Okay. So it allows movement. We got an anterior deltoid. Okay. So we are going to move on from this. Kind of running out of time a little bit. A couple things I wanted to do and show you also. You can do a floor stretch to get that pec. Okay. So how you're going to do this is that you're going to have your arm as like a W. Okay. Or half of a W. So this arm's going to be bent like this. Okay. I'm going to have my arm out just a little bit, like half of a W. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is from the other side, I'm going to have my arm up like this. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this arm just a little bit. And what it's going to do is it's going to help me stretch my pec. Just like that. Nice good stretch. And like I said, you don't want to be like, ugh. You just want to, I wouldn't say roll the shoulder forward, but you're going to have your chest up. And you're going to, as you have your chest up, you sink down and you're going to straighten this side. Just like that. Good chest stretch. Nice and easy. You look the other way too. You get a little bit of your trap. We're gonna do the other side. Same thing right here. Make that W. This hand's gonna be like this. Press up, turn your head. Good deal. All right. So now the next one I want us to do is test out our flexibility, actually a mobility of how we can move our shoulder. Okay, because remember, if you're limited mobility, the fibers of the full contraction of your whatever part that you're gonna move is not being stimulated, not moving, not firing. It's gonna atrophy. All right. So I'm gonna use this for example. If I go to try to lift let's say I can only lift up to here. Okay, I'm always lifting up to here, and I can't lift past this for like 5 years or something like this. It's been 5 years since I was able to do this, right? And I can only move like this. The muscles that help contract from here to here, you know what I mean, fully, is going to atrophy. And when those atrophy, it's going to cause some type of frozen or limited range of motion. Okay, so like frozen shoulder or limited range of motion in your shoulder, which you have a partial frozen shoulder, will have other muscles compensate to try to get the job done to lift like this because your body's going to try to find a way, right? Further injury, all right? So we want to try to see if we can gain that full mobility, okay? So we can do single side. You can do both sides too, but we're going to do single side for right now. We're going to have our hand like this on our forehead, like this, right? So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this other hand, right? You're going to have it above your head, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to have it in the back, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to have my hand in the back of my head, okay? So I'm going to extend out, around. Thumb's going to face down towards the ground, clearing the thumb, right? Clear my thumb. Then I'm going to rotate, put my hand behind my back. Okay? And I want to be able to have it to where I can relax the shoulder just a little bit. Then, from right there, see my thumb? Then from right there, I'm going to come out, make my thumb ups. See my thumb? Okay. Up around, I'm going to clear my thumb. Here. And then back. All right. Now with this one's going to be the only one that we're going to do not a whole lot. We're only going to do this like 5 times, okay? But your movement when you go to do this is going to be about like 5. It's going to take about 5, 10 seconds to do this, all right? Slow, controlled movements, okay? Definitely not something that you're going to rush, okay? When you're in that position, because there's a couple of points that you're putting your shoulder that's going to be a little vulnerable, all right? But slow, controlled movements, it's very safe. It's good. Okay, so we don't want to go real fast because if you do that, then it cannot be safe. Okay, just like anything else. All right. So right here, we're gonna try it one more time. We can try the other side. All right. See how my other side matches up with my right side. And you're gonna notice that one side's a little bit better than the other. Just happens. You know what I mean? But try to make your body as evenly as possible. You get a better outcome of your performance than anything that you do. All right. So right here, coming out, rotate thumb down, right here, around, back here. On this side, see this side's better than my other side. My other side's a little tighter. Here, around, this. Remember, thumbs down. Gonna rotate my hand, palm in the back of my head. Okay. So again, here, around, here, back, out, really twist around, back here, and boom. Okay. So another thing you want to try to avoid, I know I was looking at the camera a little bit, is shifting your body.
Okay, try to keep it to where your body's laying flat and being able to do it, rather than trying to come up like this and cheat. Right, so we want to keep it like this. Right, so all right, so last one we're gonna do. We're gonna work on squeezing our shoulder blades back just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a W right here, thumbs up. All right, and then it's kind of like a Superman. Okay, but with this one, instead of just lifting up, because a lot of times we just lift up, okay, and we're still stuck in a anterior tilt on our shoulder. Okay, so we want to do posterior tilt on the shoulder blade. Okay, so how we're going to accomplish that is external rotation. See how my shoulder is fixed a little bit. So not only are we going to think up, we're going to think back. Okay, so this is going to definitely help out those rotating off muscles that will help secure and pin that shoulder blade a little bit better. All right, along with your serratus anterior. All right, and your rhomboids and your mid trapezius and your lower trapezius. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. All right, so we're going to go like this, up, and then we're going to rotate just like that. All right, so we're going to hold for about 5 seconds. Here, we're going to rotate. You're squeezing back, rotating. Here, up. So another thing too, that I want to mention is with the, since I mentioned also trapezius, the upper trapezius up here gets overactive, all right, a lot, especially within like boxing too. How you do this mid trapezius, or I'm sorry, not mid trapezius, upper trapezius, firing a lot. You get a lot of activation right there because that's a shrugging motion, right? So, with this, a lot of times, when I tell some of my clients to do like a lift like this, they shrug up like that, right? So even when I go to shrug up, see what that does? See if you remember what that's called. It is anterior tilt. See how I want to go like that? Anterior tilt. We want to do posterior. Okay, we want to rotate back. Okay, so this trap has to deactivate. Okay, and how we're going to do that is kind of like the press down. So it's almost like you want to picture like you're trying to stick your head going, you do forward. All right, but when you go to do it, again, you're going to lift up, press shoulders down, externally rotate back, and squeeze. All right, that's how we're going to get all those muscles firing to have a better secured shoulder, especially when we're going to have to put it in that position when we're going to do like boxing or lifting or anything. Okay, because remember, if one side gets super strong and tight and the other side gets weak and elongated, guess what? You're going to have an injury. All right, so both sides have to work. Both sides have to have proper reciprocal inhibition. Okay, working back and forth. All right. So we're going to do a couple more of these, and then we should be good for today, okay? So, turn up, press down, squeeze. And on this, if you want, you can do the legs too. You can set and lift your legs up to squeeze your glutes. You know, that'd be fun. It'd be like a Superman / W, which would be fun. The last one. Woo! You go back in child's pose, kind of stretch it out a little bit. And then you stretch across the shoulder too. A little bit. There we go. All right. So I know this was kind of like a very mild, not really that active session, but I would say out of pretty much all the stuff that you've been doing, these exercises
I'm sure some of the other exercises and that Heather, Drew, and Christy show you, that's like rehab, the corrective exercises, are going to be very important. They're probably going to be the exercises that you use the most, all right, that you should be using the most, all right, to prevent any type of injury, okay? So all these exercises you should be doing on definitely a regular basis, okay, more than, let's say, a burpee, all right, or a push-up or something like that, or a squat jump, all right? You don't do those every day, or, or if you do it every other day, I hope not, you eventually end up with an injury if you constantly beat your body up like that. But if you go to do these things, it'll help your recovery. It'll help you feeling good, not really sore as an injury sore, not like muscle sore. All right, and allow you to recover and constantly be able to beat stuff up. You know what I mean? But I hope this was helpful. I'm sure I'll see you around in class. If you have any questions about anything with like shoulder pain, shoulder impingement, anything like that, I'm more than willing to help. I love talking about this stuff. I can talk about it forever. Okay, but just let me know, and hopefully I'll see you around. All right, have a good day.